Hello there, entrepreneurs. It's Terry Levine here, and I have a special guest with me. This is Dee Hample, who I'll introduce to you in just a moment. This is a very, very special live. So it's a pre-recorded live, but you get to watch it whenever you choose. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure that you're in a place where you can take some notes, because we're going to be revealing something that has been a backbone and secret of my success of my client family members, and how you can replicate that same success. We're like spilling the beans, giving away the magic. So let me tell you a little bit about Dee from my perspective. She doesn't know what I'm going to say, so she might be a little embarrassed. I met Dee many years ago, and I'm sure that you've met people where you've had an instantaneous just gravitate to the person. Well, that's what happened. I just felt she was easy to approach. She had this big smile, super friendly. And as I got to know her and got to see the skills and the talents that she had, I started to embrace so many of her talents and skills for my business, introducing her to other clients, friends, other business owners. And she has done some of the best work that I've ever seen. And she has this particular talent that is mind-blowing, because I teach something, and I've been using this in my own business for, 25 years, called a consumer awareness guide. That's your first note. That's a writer downer, consumer awareness guide. And this little tiny consumer awareness guide magic literally works as a lead magnet through reverse marketing, not most of the typical lead magnets that people put out there. In fact, one of my clients, Julie Musial, just said the other day, like, yours is so much better than anyone else's, Terry, because it has so much great info in it. And so that's what we do behind the scenes. We use consumer awareness guides. My client family members use them. I use them. Dee is the creator of them. She not only designs the most incredible covers, she actually wrote my consumer awareness guide and many of the other guides for our client family members. So without further ado, first I want to introduce Dee, and then we're going to get into this. Dee, say hello to everyone.
Hello, my fellow entrepreneurs. It's glad to be here, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
Oh, you're so welcome.
It's my pleasure, and I feel the same way about you.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's such an honor. I'm not only able to do coaching and consulting with Dee, she's also one of my proteges. She's master certified in my processes and procedures. And she also is a friend. And I'm very blessed because she lives locally. Not many of my folks do. So, Dee, talk a little bit about why you all of a sudden, a while back, got this passion for, I want to help create consumer awareness guides. Where did that come from within you?
Oh, this is just such an amazing process. I love taking the skill sets of an entrepreneur or a business owner whomever I'm writing the consumer awareness guide for, and we dig into what the secrets are and get down to what absolutely every question your prospective client or customer would want to know about your business prior to hiring you. And these consumer awareness guides make you the credible expert.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to draw a distinction for folks, and we're going to show some of these in a moment. You know, a lot of people have these lead magnets, and I download them all the time. I downloaded one this morning, and it was like a checklist. And I downloaded somebody else's the other day. It was like 3 pages. It was all fluff. And some of them are really sales pitches in disguise, right? They don't give information. They're not helpful. They're not a guidebook. So being transparent, I'll tell you all where I came up with this. When I owned the coach training school that I had for many, many years, the Coaching Institute, we started buying all these domains and all these long tail domain landing pages, part of what I teach and what we do here at Entrepreneur Agency. So I had 23 of these domains: make money as a coach, become a coach, how to get started in coaching, which coach training school to choose. And it went on and on and on. And they all had the same info on them, which basically was download a consumer awareness guide. And people would download the guides every single day, and they weren't sales pitches. So the best analogy I can give you is going back to my days as an owner of a coach training school. I had the 5 deadly mistakes that people make when choosing a coach training school, because they do, and they did. And so I listed each of those mistakes and I gave examples. And then I taught what to do about those mistakes, right? So one of the mistakes was getting into a school, learning to be a great coach, having zero training in marketing, and never having clients. And that was the biggest thing I saw in the industry. And at the end of the guide, all that we did is say, hey, this consumer awareness guide is brought to you by, back in the day, the Coaching Institute, where we specialize in. And then, of course, the things we specialized in were the things opposite the deadly mistakes. That's it. That's it. That's simple. And that is how I positioned my school above all the established schools. We had a period of time where we're having 200 students sign up per week. Back in the day, it was around $5,000. So just do the math. 200 students at $5,000 a week. Now, that's literally all we did. We didn't do anything else. We didn't do any advertising. There wasn't social media, that many years ago. There was none of the things we have today. Fast forward, this still works today. There is no better lead generator because you are really helping people. So, Dee, I want to give an example of something. I was thinking a few years back of potentially turning my back patio that you've seen into an indoor sunroom. Now, I don't know about you. I know nothing about indoor sunrooms. And I kept talking to companies and everyone was pitching me. And one company said, let me send you a guidebook on how to choose a sunroom. That was the game changer. Now, I decided not to do that because I decided I like the openness. However, if I was choosing a company, that was the company. That's when I realized, yes, this is still the most powerful thing that you can use, and most people don't have one. Anything you want to speak to about that before we show some samples?
It's absolutely true. I've downloaded quite a few of other people's consumer awareness guides or lead magnets, not so much consumer awareness guides, but they're lead magnets. And they compared to our consumer awareness guides, the one that we developed for you, it's just so much value. It's incredible. And it gives the prospective client customer absolutely everything they need to know about your business, of what the pitfalls are and what to not look for, or what to look for that other people don't do that you do.
Yeah, and that's well said, because each of us in all of our businesses, we do something unique, or we are something unique. And in every industry, there are things that are wrong that people do, right? So I know a lot of people, I'll just use Entrepreneur Agency. I know people who've hired digital marketing agencies, me too, that literally didn't fulfill their promises, and that just were a bunch of empty promises, didn't understand coaching or consulting or whatever it was, and was a lot of money and got crickets. Well, in a consumer awareness guide, we can explain, here are the top mistakes that people make in choosing an agency, and here's what we do different at Entrepreneur Agency. And then very simple, this consumer awareness guide was brought to you by where we do. If you're interested, raise your hand and let us know. We'll have a chat or whatever it might be. So it's real simple. So what I asked Dee to do is to screen share some of the covers that she's made for some of our client family members. And then we're going to show you a little bit of my consumer awareness guide. And please keep in mind, not only did Dee create covers on these, Dee creates the content, okay? And there is no one, zero persons under the sun that I have sanctioned to take this formula that's been proprietary and then to go ahead and do this for other people, including my own client family members, because she knows how to do it. She's expert at it. Don't even ask me to do it. I turn mine over to Dee. So Dee, will you share and show us a few?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's go to
Goodbye for this. This will be exciting. You'll be very glad you're here with us.
All right, let's pop on over. Here's some of the ones that are currently in process and ones that have been completed in the past. As you can see, we have someone who focuses on divorced women, and I'll just share a couple screens. There we go. So as you can see, we give the title and the subhead and the information below. And as you go through, we list all the contents, all of the hurdles you overcome, and how to overcome all the hurdles. And each one is basically different. So
yeah, so this one has hurdles versus mistakes. Oh, this is
correct.
Which is this one? This is
this one is toxic beliefs.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you want to use a disruptive heading, obviously, to grab the readers' attention, and there's just different things or different ways.
I love that cover. Ooh, beautiful. Yeah, part of it too for me is, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think it's worth more. When I look at that, it's like, yes, who wouldn't want that kind of a life, right?
Right, exactly. So we put the pictures and the to match your words. Never get promoted. How not to get the deadly career mistakes.
That's a great one. People need this one for sure.
And then this one is one of my favorites. This one is Terry's. So this one goes through how coaches can use the ultimate enrollment system. And this is basic. Look at the table of contents. We came up with all of these different tools and techniques, and it's all value provided to your clients.
And we literally just give that away. Like literally, you have people download your consumer awareness guide all the time. In fact, if you go in to the file section right here in the Facebook group at Entrepreneurs, where you are, you will find some sample consumer awareness guides. You can see some of the ones Dee created.
Here's the newer one that's out now. And here's another one. How to create $1 million. This is one I did for a social marketing.
Oh, that's a neat one too.
So they're just some of the.
Thank you. So there's an assortment, as you can see. There's an assortment. And what Dee said is totally true. She uses the conversion equation. If you didn't read my book, The Conversion Equation, get it. Because you have to always have those 4 things in your consumer awareness guide. You have to have a headline, as she said, that interrupts your target audience. You don't want to attract everyone. So if I have something about a coach training school and you weren't interested in coach training, great, it's not for you. Or if I'm looking for a sunroom, I go, oh, that is for me, right? After you use a strong headline, and Dee knows how to create these, and she uses a special tool that scores them and grades them.
Yes.
We'll know this is a good one, and it's also going to have good SEO, search engine optimization. She knows how to put these on long tail domains and how to set them up in the formula that I teach, which no one else teaches.
Correct.
Yeah. Then after we get their attention and we have them captured, right? And so they're now going, you've interrupted me. Then she knows the second step is we have to keep them engaged, because getting someone's attention, they can quickly go on to the next thing. So Dee knows how to quickly do the right subhead that has them keep going. And again, she uses a tool that scores it. And then after that, she goes into the education, and that's where she comes in, not only with brilliant writing, the graphics are incredible. Like I've looked through mine just for fun going, oh, just the graphics alone. And then finally at the end, there's an extension of the hand, which I teach, which is a low or no risk offer, which could be anything. It could be filling out a form, downloading something else. It could be getting on your webinar, joining your boot camp or your challenge or your Facebook group or your LinkedIn group. It's up to you, and Dee will create that just the way you want it. Dee, who is a good person for you to work with who you can create a consumer awareness guide for? Who's the exact client family member that would work best for you?
I would say anyone in the Heartrepreneur group, or anyone who is looking to add this to their toolkit for their marketing. So it would be entrepreneurs or service-based business entrepreneurs or small business owners.
Yeah. And what's interesting, I was just thinking the other day, it was funny. Mark, my husband, and I, we were looking at a particular service to do some work that we need around our home. And again, he doesn't know what a consumer awareness guide is. He was doing research on one computer, I was on the other, and he said, oh, I just downloaded something from this one company and I want you to look at it. And I made the assumption it's going to be, some pitchy brochure, which is typically what we downloaded. And this one wasn't quite a consumer awareness guide. However, it had some framework to it. And I said, wow, that's a larger company. And if they had the expertise to create this a little bit better, it would make all the difference. People come to me all the time And they say, how do you get qualified prospects every day? We had a big problem in the company yesterday, which I'm so happy to tell you about, which is we ran out of space on our calendar at Entrepreneur Agency. We got totally booked up all of October, November with people who wanted our help. And so we had to come up with how to get more openings so we can help more people, which is a great problem to have. So a consumer awareness guide is what brings you that conveyor belt of qualified prospects. I want to ask you a question. If you're watching, I want you to be really honest and transparent. How many qualified prospects a day do you get from your lead magnet or from your funnel? And I will tell you, one of our client family members, Dr. Polly, she gets most of her leads coming in from her consumer awareness guide. Another client family member, he's a private client of mine, Jason. Jason's consumer awareness guide, which is all he's had for about 5 years, has allowed him to do about $2.6 million worth of business so far this year, okay? So I want you to think about that. If you're not getting a conveyor belt of qualified prospects, you don't have the right kind of a landing page, and that's part of what D does for you. You probably don't know how to get a long tail domain and to make sure it's the right one. We have a tool for that. You might not have the right layout and format on your landing page because most people don't. And then you certainly don't have the right images and the right consumer awareness guide or the format. There is a format and a framework and a structure behind all the guides. So what else do you want people to know? And what should they do if they're feeling like they might want your help? What does that all look like?
All you would have to do is I'll drop my Calendly link in and you can schedule an appointment. I'll drop it in the text below this video and we'll chat.
Yeah. And you know what I say to people all the time is one conversation, one, can literally change everything. I always believe this, Dee. You're one conversation away from that thing that you've been looking for, right? Whether it's more qualified prospects, whether it's more influence, more impact, more income. This consumer awareness guide, it actually does all of that. It puts you and elevates you at the top of your field with credibility and expertise. It creates that influence, and it does what we do every day, which is to show up, to serve, and to create value and education. And Dee's heard me say this so many times. If you don't have enough client family members, you're not creating enough education, and enough value. And what this guide does is it does all of that. You don't need a funnel. Trust me, you don't need a funnel. So you don't need any of that. You don't need a website. No, you actually don't. Your consumer awareness guide every single day, when done right, because if you do it wrong, it's not going to go anywhere. Doing it right with the right headline, the right graphics, the right inner workings, the right landing page, the right long tail domain, all of that has to synchronize and go together, which Dee is the expert at. You will get a conveyor belt of qualified prospects. And it's not just easy, it's fun, because then you have the opportunity to actually help the right audience and for the right people to find you. And the concept of reverse marketing is just that. Instead of you hiding behind your computer, sending emails and creating a whole bunch of content and trying to get on podcasts and blogging and, you know, crickets. You got a landing page, you got a funnel, you got a website. Where are the clients? I'm on social media. Where are the clients? Now you're the expert with a valuable resource, not a sales pitch, not a slide deck, not a bunch of PowerPoints, an actually really, really important guide that you're giving away and extending your hand and saying to your exact target audience, look, I know, I understand, and I know how to help. Here is what you need to know. Whether you hire me or work with my company or not, here's a guidebook. And by the way, since I said that, I had somebody a few weeks ago send me this great email. A gentleman said, Terry, I've been on your list forever. I always download your consumer awareness guides. I read them several times. Your latest one, which again, Dee did, I have read 4 times, and now I'm raising my hand saying, his name is Henry. He said, Henry, what are you waiting for? So that's how they show up. And some of them show up right in the beginning. Regardless, they're holding on to this guide, not like somebody else's download, because it has value. Go ahead.
Exactly. There's so much information packed in these that your clients can use this as reference material to refer back to and keep, because there is so much value in them.
Exactly, exactly. And I really encourage you to think about that, regardless of your industry. You could be a coach, a consultant, a health and wellness practitioner. You could be a speaker, a trainer, an author. You could have one on the 5 mistakes you can make in choosing your conference speaker, if that's what you do, or the top 5 mistakes that you can make as an author. And then you could teach that. You could teach the top 3, 4, 5 mistakes that people make in web marketing if you create websites. So think about what you do and what do consumers need to be aware of. I'll add one thing here. While I'm not a big believer in agitating people's problems, I know that some people teach that. It doesn't resonate with me as a entrepreneur. I am very interested in how do I serve, how do I help? And a consumer awareness guide, whether they decide to hire you or your company or not, you have now given people a way to measure, how do I make a buying decision in this niche or this industry? If you're in the niche or industry, you know a ton about it. Your prospects don't, right? In just choosing,
Exactly.
right? In choosing my first life coach, this is way back when, 30 something years ago. No idea to choose a life coach. Like the first woman I met that said she was a life coach, I'm like, great, where do I sign up? And then after about 4 months, she said to me, you know what? You should be coaching me on business because that's what I need. And I'm not as good of a life coach as you are. And I'm like, what? And then I realized that she was right. And she was really a great person. We're still in touch and a great human being. If someone had educated me, how do you choose the right person? Because when I've chosen the right person and the right projects, I've been able to create a lot more impact, influence, and income and to help more people. Anything else you want to add about that, Dee?
No, it's all about helping your clients make the right decision.
100%, 100%. So I'm going to give you a few actions. 1, go to the file section here at Entrepreneurs with Terry Levine. You're right here in our wonderful Facebook community. And take a look, just put in the search term consumer awareness guides, and you'll see a few examples there. Then for sure, Dee's going to drop in, she said, a Calendly link. If you're serious, you're like, you know what, I might want to have Dee create one. I might want to know what it's about. Then go ahead and schedule some time. And I always say to people, don't schedule time to waste someone's time, right? So what I mean by that is if you're seriously interested, and by the way, I always believe when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and she's right here. However, some people still do this. And then 6 months, a year later, they go, I'm still in the same place or I'm in a worse place. Yeah, of course you are. So when opportunity knocks, it's knocking loudly, raise your hand. That's when you say, yes, it costs a little bit of time. That's all. To get on a call with Dee, you can see that she's not a salesperson. She's a real, genuine human being here to help and serve, and see if Dee can help you. Any final words?
No, I'm here to help.
100% you are. So Dee, thank you for giving us some of your time, your expertise today. And I just want to say, I can't thank you enough. I honor you. I appreciate you so much for the work that you've done on my consumer awareness guides, our client family member consumer awareness guides. You're my go-to gal, and I'm happy that we got to share you today with the community.
Thank you so much. And I feel the same way about you. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll see you all every Tuesday here live at 2 p.m. Eastern. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.